All right, now we're going to look at the bottom of page 7. It says 15 milliliters of H2SO4 is titrated to endpoint with 10 milliliters of 0.25 AlOH3. What is the molarity of the acid? So we already have our titration equation. Now it's up to us to figure out what are we missing. So since it's asking what is the molarity of the acid, we don't know Ma, because Ma is molarity of the acid. So we're going to figure out the rest of the numbers. It says 15 milliliters of H2SO4. Well, since all of our acids start with an H, that tells me we have 15 milliliters of our acid. So we don't know Ma, but we do have Va, which is 15. The number of hydrogens. So in H2SO4, we have 2 hydrogens. So this time we're going to put a 2. Set that equal to molarity of our base, which is 0.25. Volume of the base is 10. Number of OHs. Well, since we have aluminum hydroxide, which is AlOH3, that 3 tells us how many OHs there are. 3. So now we're going to try to get X on its own so that we can find the molarity of our acid. To get X on its own, we're going to have to divide by 15 and divide by 2. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So now that 15 and 2 are on the right side, we can cancel those out. So now we have X is equal to 0.25 times 10 times 3 divided by 15 times 2. So you could calculate it the way that I showed you by multiplying everything on top, multiplying everything on bottom, and then dividing those two numbers. Or if you want to do it all at once in your calculator, here's how you do it. 0.25 times 10 times 3, press enter. Divide by 15, press enter. Divide by 2, press enter. And your answer is 0.25. And since we're looking for molarity of the acid, our unit is a capital N. So that's how you do the bottom of page 7. If you turn the page and look at the top of page 8, it doesn't exactly say what is the molarity or which one is unknown. It says how much. Well, if it says how much, that's talking about volume, because that's the only one that you can actually calculate with a quantitative number. Well, not really, but it's really talking about volume. That's what you got to get from that. All right. It says 21 milliliters of 1.5 molarity HNO3. So all of that is talking about my acid. I have 21 milliliters of 1.5 molarity. And it said 21 milliliters of HNO3. How many hydrogens are there? Miss Piskor, there's 1. Oh man, y'all are so smart. Okay, so you figured out that there's 1. The molarity of the base is 2.0. We don't know the volume of the base because it's asking how much, so we don't know. Actually, let's not use a question mark, let's use X. And the number of hydroxides in CaOH2. How many OHs are there? There's 2. Wow, y'all are so good. Okay. I realize I'm saying that a lot. We need to get X on its own, so we're going to divide by 2.0, and we're going to divide by 2. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So now those cancel out, and we're left with X all on its own. And we have 1.5 times 21 times 1 divided by 2 divided by 2. So if you want to put it in your calculator all at once, 1.5 times 21 times 1, press enter. Divide by 2.0, press enter. Divide by 2, press enter. You get 7.875. So you can either leave it like that since it came out perfectly even. If you want to follow the 2 decimal rule, it would be 7.88 milliliters because that 5 is going to round up the 7. And X is representing the volume of our base. So that's all you have to do for titration.